Hey, y'all, welcome to the Blue Plate Special. It is real live music here in beautiful downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. And we're here hanging out inside of Visit Knoxville like we enjoy doing every day at noon. They're here, y'all. They're outside. The fire truck has just arrived. Just saying. So today we have two guests on the show. Feel free to come join us if you can. If you can't be here, you can watch it stream live on our Facebook or YouTube channel. Visiting with us today from New Bern, North Carolina, Haley Richardson is here. We'll be up the second half of the show. To get things started, she's living over in Greer, South Carolina. Is that correct?
That's right. You pronounce it right.
You all give a great big welcome to Angela Easterling. Back to the Blue Plate Special.
Thank you. He says I just sing leaving songs and never let him hold me long. No, he speaks the truth, I can't deny. I just don't know how to be the woman that he needs from me while I find a way of living my own life. There's a big wide world turning round. Oh, I can't stop or slow it down. So I just hold on tight, then I'll take a ride on that big wide world turning around. He thinks I should jump at the chance to give myself all to romance. Part of me that he can't understand. I've never dreamed of being tamed. I was not born to change my name. It's nothing I would ask of any man. 'Cause there's a big wide world turning around. It down. So I just hold on tight, then I'll take a ride on that big wide world turning around. Now for 50 years we've had this conversation. Can't believe that it's still happening to me. Every time I must provide an explanation as a woman who is happy being free. Oh, you know that old thing, it just don't sound right to me. There's a big wide world turning around. Hey, I can't stop or slow it down. So I just hold on tight, then I'll take a ride on that big wide world turning around. Big wide world turning round. Big wide world turning round. Big wide world turning round. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was Big Wide World. I have to tell you guys that the fire truck left, so no worries there. It'll be back probably when I play my slow, quiet, emotional song. It'll be back. That's what they always do. How's everybody doing today? So good to be back here on the Blue Plate Special. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with me today. This next song I'm going to do for you is called Table Rock. I think the last time I wore these jeans, I was just a kid about 23 with a busted heart and lonely eyes. Fear I tried to hide. Today I found them in my drawer. Would you believe they fit just like before? So I threw them on and I wondered if I'd set that girl aside. Take me down to that table rock. I just wanna ride beside you for a while. Maybe we can leave our clothes up on the dock down at the Table Rock. Sometimes I wish you knew me when, for life got to me then. Drew all these lines upon my face. But I was about half crazy when I was young. If I'd have met you then, I'd have made you run. So maybe fate did me a favor with that bit of tarnished grace. Take me down to that Table Rock. I just wanna ride beside you for a while. Hold my hand and we'll dance to the band and pretend that we're not all grown up tonight. Find a cheap motel and stay up past 10 o'clock down at the Table Rock. I was so sad and serious back when life should have just been fun. Now these years have given me what my youth could not have done. The freedom to love, the freedom to love. Ooh. Take me down to that Table Rock. I just wanna ride beside you for a while. Hold my hand and we'll dance to the band and pretend that we're not all grown up tonight. Maybe we can leave our clothes up on the dock down at the Table Rock. Thank you so much, Table Rock.
It's Angela Easterling with us here today on the Blue Plate Special. Angela has been making music for a pretty good long time now.
Yeah, my first album came out in 2007,
Okay.
so I've been at it for a while.
So, where did you grow up?
I grew up mostly in the upstate of South Carolina in Greer, where I live now, which is right outside of Greenville County, upstate, like western part of the foothills of the mountains region of South Carolina.
Okay. So is that why you decided to raise your family there?
Well, I grew up near a family farm that's been in my family since 1791. And so the first thing I wanted to do was go somewhere else. When I got to college, I went to college in Boston, then I lived in Los Angeles for a couple of years. And then I decided I did my first album and I wanted to tour. And so South Carolina is really affordable for a musician that's going to be on the road. So I just parked my stuff back home and didn't really know where I was going to wind up. And then my partner, Brandon, and I found out about 11 years ago now that we were expecting our first baby. And so we decided to move back into a house on the farm that my grandfather built. And we've been living there ever since.
And 3 children now?
We have 3 little boys, yes. We have 3 little boys.
So when do you find time to write music?
Oh, gosh, it's tough. I mean, I have to really, I have to make the time, but, it never fails. So, I get my guitar out, I get my notebook out, I get my pen, I get everything out, and then, Mommy, I need help with my homework. Mommy, I need somebody hit me in the head or something like that, So I'm always having to okay, go deal with that, come back to the song, go deal with that, come back to the song. So I just try to get as much as I can. It's just about finding the time for it. It's not like before I had kids, when I would sit around and wait for, inspiration to hit and come down from heaven, and I'd sit there and write the whole song at once. That rarely happens anymore. It's this little piece here and that little piece there, and then we put them all together and hope they turn into something good.
All right. So, Greer, I wouldn't figure it's a big hotbed for music, but I'm just wondering if you do any co-writing.
Well, I haven't ever really done much co-writing. For me, writing is such a personal thing, and like I said, a lot of times I'm like sitting there around the house chasing the kids and writing at the same time. I would love to do some co-writing, but really so far the only album that I actually co-wrote was my French album, which I put out about 10 years ago, and I wrote all of those with my friend who's a native French speaker. But other than that, I tend to write all of my songs pretty much to myself, but then I take them to Brandon Turner, who's my partner, father of my kids, and my musical partner, and he's the first person to hear them. So he kind of, his wheels in his head usually start turning as far as like production and instrumentation and stuff like that. So he's definitely, my go-to for that kind of thing. So he's almost like a co-writer.
All right.
Although I don't give him any credit on the CD for that.
But you gave him credit as father of your children.
Yes, and as the producer.
There you go.
Yes.
Important.
He doesn't get any
titles.
He doesn't get any publishing money, though. I keep all of that.
So tonight, or this evening, I guess I should say, Angela will be performing at Songs by the Brook in Alcoa.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, I got excited. I thought it was Barley's here in Knoxville, but it's the Barley's in Spindale, North Carolina.
Yeah.
She'll be performing. You can find the complete tour schedule by visiting her website, which is Angela Easterling Music.
AngelaEasterling.com.
Just .com. Okay.
Yeah.
Shake and howdy with her after the show, and thank her for making music for us here today, and feel free to stop by the merch table as well. For now, I'm going to back out of the way. We're going to get more music this afternoon from Angela Easterling on the Blue Plate Special.
Thank you, Red. And I just want to take a minute and say hi to my 3-year-old son, Rory, who is listening at home. I promised him this morning that I would say hi to him on the radio. My older 2 boys are at school right now, so they can't tune in live. So hi, Rory. Mommy loves you. So here's a song that I wrote. I mentioned about my family's farm, and this next song I'm going to do is one that I wrote about our farm. It's about us trying to keep the land in our family. The area that our farm is in is very rapidly developing right now. And as I mentioned, it goes back in my family over 200 years. And so this is about us trying to deal with the real estate development that's going on currently in that area. This is called Blacktop Road. They got telephone poles where our trees had been. Ripped up our pasture, put a sidewalk in. Oh, that big voice of progress said you've gotta go. We're gonna lay us a blacktop road. We're gonna lay us a blacktop road. Well, they tore down the house my great-granddaddy built when my grandpa was born and my mama took her first steps. Hey, but nobody cared about the stories that told. The spot was just right for Blacktop Road. It was the perfect spot for Blacktop Road. Yeah, yeah, Blacktop Road. Blacktop Road. They're gonna lay down the Blacktop Road. Don't you try to complain. Do as you're told. Get out of the way of that Blacktop Road. Grandma planted these flowers back when she was my age. They still bloom here every year, though she's gone to her grave. Oh, they won't be here tomorrow, that I know. They're gonna pave them right over with the Blacktop Road. Gonna cover them over, Blacktop Road. Yeah, yeah, Blacktop Road. Blacktop Road. They're gonna lay down the Blacktop Road. Don't you try to complain. Do as you're told. Get out of the way of that Blacktop Road. Get out of the way of that Blacktop Road. Crap, well, this can't happen in the USA. They said you better shut up, we'll take your farm away. Then they thought they'd be friendly, maybe throw us a bone. They stuck a family name on that Blacktop Road. Now family names on that Blacktop Road. Yeah, yeah, Blacktop Road. Blacktop Road. They're gonna lay down the Blacktop Road. Don't you try to complain. Do as you're told. Get out of blacktop road, blacktop road. They're gonna lay them a blacktop road. Don't you try to complain, do as you're told. Get out of the way of that blacktop road. Get out of the way of that blacktop road. Thank you so much. This is a song off my new album. And even though I wrote this song, I long for the day when I don't feel like I need to sing it anymore. This song is called Halfway Down. This morning's like a penny, all bright, shiny, and new. The mean old summer heat is gone, the fall air's kissed with dew. I hear my children laughing, no, they ain't seen the news. I breathe a prayer of thanks, they're safe at home right now. Drive the long road into town. All the flags are halfway down. Try to make my peace with that strange ground on the long road into town. Another man, another gun, American as pie. Nothing ever changes, no one's asking why. We offer up our thoughts and prayers, we shake our fist and cry. Then we go back to our own busy lives. Drive the long road into town. See the flags are halfway down. Try to make our peace with that strange ground on the long road into town. And they'll raise them back up again, but then in a week or maybe two, you'll see. On the long road into town, the flag is back halfway down, and we'll make our peace with that strange ground on the long road into town. On the long road into town. Thank you so much. Halfway down. Well, I'm a big baseball fan, and this next song is one I wrote about my favorite sport. It's about a guy that didn't quite make it in the major leagues, and then the little old town he was from didn't quite make it either. And it's sort of inspired by the area where I live. We used to have a lot of textile mills in that area, and for many years they were empty, and then many of them got torn down, and now they're all getting turned into condos. So that's an interesting development I didn't see coming. But otherwise, I probably would have invested in condos. But anyway, I wrote this song to kind of honor also one of our most famous baseball players from the area where I live, Shoeless Joe Jackson. He grew up playing in the textile mill baseball team, so that was kind of the idea behind this song. This is called Throwing Strikes. was raised in this Mill Hill town. It's where my family settled down. Daddy worked the mill like folks we knew, and when I grew up I worked there too. But in high school, on the baseball team, I threw no hit against the Rebels when spring scouts came around. I was packing up to leave this town. I spent 2 years in Florida in one out west small town. I'd been the very best, but it turned out my best wasn't good enough. After spring training, I got cut, so I tucked my tail and I came back home, just to find out the mill was gone. The tallest building in our town is empty as a shell. The houses all around it are emptying as well. I'm just gathering stones down by the pipe. Tonight I'll be out there throwing strikes. I crack open a beer in an overgrown field and stare up at the forgotten mill. 48 windows, each with 36 panes. No fancy stuff, just a strong arm name, like flying across that plate of opening night. As the sound of breaking glass cuts the quiet. Tallest building in our town is empty as a shell. The houses all around it are emptying as well. I'm just gathering stones down by the pipe. Tonight I'll be out there throwing strikes. Cops roll by me, they don't even care. Oh, you know, it's almost like this place ain't even there. Whoa, 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 whoa. The tallest building in our town is empty as a shell. The houses all around it are emptying as well. I'm just gathering stones down by the pipe. Tonight I'll be out there. Tonight I'll be out there. Tonight I'll be out there throwing strikes. Thank you so much. That's Throwing Strikes. Well, I did say about how my kids kind of hinder my songwriting, but they also help it a lot because they provide a wonderful, wonderful inspiration to me. And I wrote this song in honor of the, raising up little boys. You're always thinking about, someday they're going to be men, and I feel it's such a huge responsibility for me and their dad to raise them up to be good men, and that's what this song is about. This is called Little Boy Blues. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna be a man. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna be a man. My heart is growing weary. I'm in this world of memories still haunt me. Now I don't know where I'll stand. A little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna be a man. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna grow up to a big boy. Little boy gonna be a man.
That's Angela Easterling on the WDVX Blue Plate Special. Again, y'all can find more information by visiting her website there, angelaeasterling.com. And tonight, she will be performing at Songs by the Brook in Alcoa and, Saturday night in Spindale, North Carolina. Shake and howdy with her after the show, and feel free to stop by the merch table and thank her for being here with us today. Well, support for the WDVX Blue Plate Special comes from listeners just like yourselves, from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Tennessee Arts Commission, Visit Knoxville, Downtown Knoxville, and Barley's in Knoxville's Old City. It's home of the Big Plate, Fridays at noon. So tomorrow we'll be at Barley's for the Big Plate. And Milkman and the Big Band's going to be with us tomorrow. I've said all week long, it's not an exaggeration. It is a big band. There's upwards of 16 members in the band. And I don't know, we're going to figure it out tomorrow. We'll figure out how we're going to get them all on that stage. But you can always go to our website at WDVX.com. Click at the top of the page there to find out who is headed in our direction. We got a pretty fat calendar happening right now. On Saturday, Sarah Kate Morgan will be back with her mountain dulcimer. And the Weekend Lovers will be here, as well as we're going to take Monday off, y'all. It's Labor Day. We're not laboring. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. All of us is staying home on Monday. But you can listen to the radio, because that'll be there for you. On Tuesday, we'll be back with Saturday Night in the Groove Band. Galveston will be with us next week. Fred Lee Cole, the Joe Stam Band coming. Fiddlin' Leona and the Johns also coming next week. So you can check that website for upcoming performances. Now, it's also tomorrow, First Friday happens to land on the 1st this month, which it rarely does. And you can join us for Taps and Tunes on the Corner with your host, Evie Andrus. Dave Edgar is going to be her guest tomorrow night. So check it all out. Also, next weekend is our weekend for Kids Stuff Live. And Sarah Perkle's going to be Sean McCullough's guest for Kids Stuff Live next Saturday. All of that information on our calendar at WDVX.com. All right. So she's based out in New Bern, North Carolina, y'all. And we just confirmed that, yes, she's young, but when she was even much younger, was here about 8 years ago, I think, in 2015, on the Blue Plate Special. You all give a great big welcome to Haley Richardson. Back to the Blue Plate Special.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Well, it's lovely to be back after 8 years. The last time I was here was with my brother, Dylan, and I'm delighted to be back with these two guys. I've Don Penzine on the guitar, and Don and I came from North Carolina, but Will had a bit of a longer distance to come. Will Bryant is our dancer here, and he's from Sydney, Australia. So I'm delighted to have these guys up here with me. And that first set of tunes, the first one was a nice little tune called Little John's Hame. And then we followed that with a couple of reels, a couple of traditional Irish reels. And we're going to follow that now with a couple of hornpipes. The first one is a nice little traditional tune called The Castle. And then we'll follow that with a tune that I picked up. I was digging through some nice archives online. That's the great thing about having the internet, is you can find absolutely anything that you would possibly want to know. And there's a lot of downsides to that as well, but one of the perks of it is having all of these old traditional tune archives. And I like to go in there and find tunes that have kind of been forgotten about or aren't as popular as they used to be. And I came across this one recording of a piper, Leo Rosum, and it's a very early recording of him playing a hornpipe. And I loved the hornpipe, and it's a very complex tune, and I was kind of amazed that he was playing it on the pipes. And I started playing it around, and I didn't have a name for it, and was doing a gig with my friend Joey Abarta, who's a wonderful piper of this generation. And Joey said, "Oh, I love that tune." And I was like, "Oh, do you have a name for it?" And he said, "Yeah, I do. It's called The Fiddler's Cramp." And I instantly understood where that name came from, so. Thanks so much.
This is Haley Richardson with us here today on the Blue Plate Special. Hallie, how old were you when you first started playing violin?
Violin, I started at the age of 3.
Do you call it fiddle in if it's
I call
Irish
it fiddle. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, and 3.
Yes.
And obviously, she mastered it.
Thank you very much.
She has been on tour with the 25th anniversary of River Dance,
That's right,
fiddling around all over the place, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
And I'm curious about how you end up with an Australian Irish step dancer.
Will and I met on tour, so he's
Part of the
been
River Dance
dancing with
troupe as
Riverdance
well.
for 10 years, is it? Yeah, 10 years now.
Yeah, I've been in the company for 10 years now, so long time.
All right. And how old were you when you started dancing?
I was 4 years old.
4 years old. Start 'em young, peoples.
Yeah.
Start 'em young.
And they get hooked, and you can't get them away from it. That's
It's
the thing.
true. Well, you guys are only getting just a little sample, a little appetizer of the show here. They'll be performing tonight at Boyd's Jig and Reel, so you get a second chance to see them while they're here. Do you have merch with you
We
here
do.
today?
We have some CDs over there on the table. 3 different CDs for you to choose from. Great Christmas gifts. So
Well, feel free to stop by the merch table. Shake and howdy with them afterwards, and certainly thank them all for being here with us today. The website to find out more is Haley Richardson. It's Haley, right? I am
Yes.
kidding.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm confusing my Haley. I want to call you.
you can call me anything
Hallie.
you like.
Okay, HaleyRichardsonMusic.com for more information. You know you want to talk to her afterwards, ask questions.
Yes.
So feel free to shake and howdy. I'm going to slide out of the way so we can get more music here from Haley Richardson on the Blue Plate Special.
All right, we'll play a Scottish tune for you next. This one is called The Sweetness of Mary. And we'll follow that with a tune that's pretty popular in a lot of different fiddling traditions. I've heard it played in several versions from Scottish, old-time bluegrass, and Irish. And this version was sort of made popular by a fiddle player named Sean Maguire, and he was notorious for his show pieces. So he would take simple traditional tunes and he would turn them into something elaborate and make them all fancy with loads of variations and things. So this tune is normally a 2 or 3 part tune, and Sean Maguire made it into an 8-part tune, and it's called The Mason's Apron.
Well, it's about that time, y'all. We're getting to the point where we've got time for one more tune here today. How about we get one more round of applause for Angela Easterling, the first half of the show here today. Again, Angela will be at Songs by the Brook later this afternoon in Alcoa, and then later tonight. Hallie will be down at Boyd's Jig and Reel. I believe that's a 7:30 show. Am I right on that? All right. So I also want to say thanks to Rick Hall, and I'm assuming the Irish Arts of Knoxville for making this happen for us here today. You can, you can keep up with her, whether she's playing in a small little group like this or a big ensemble Lake River Dance. You can keep up with her there at HaleyRichardsonMusic.com, and feel free to stop by that merch table and certainly thank our performers for making music for us here today. Join us again tomorrow for the Milkman and Big Band at Barley's, and you can always check that website at WDVX.com to find out who's headed our way. Of course, we're listener supported. There's always a donation box back there. A little love in the box keeps the good music going. Y'all, thank you so much for being here with us today. Will you leave us with the last tune?
I will.
All right.
Sure. Thanks so much, Red, for having us, and thanks to Angela for the lovely music at the start there. It's gorgeous. We're going to finish up. The first tune in the set is a composition of a lovely fiddle player named Tommy Peoples. It's called Don't Touch That Green Linnet, and we'll follow that with a tune that I wrote a few years ago. It's called Maeve's Cat Eye. There is a story behind that. I didn't just name it something random like that for no reason. And then we'll finish the set with a nice traditional tune called The Yellow Tinker. Thanks so much for listening today. We've had a lot of fun. Thanks.
That's Haley Richardson, y'all. Thank you. And join us again next time for more real live music on the Blue Plate Special.